Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Good evening, Swig Squad. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Who is hot? Good evening, all. Hello, hello. Hey, PM. Oh, PM. Yes, I want to know your take on it too. I feel so bad for this baby. Oh, this baby. Oh, it got my chest. It got my chest hurting. I'm feeling so bad for this baby. And I just need to know. Because I haven't heard a lot about it. Um, well, I don't guess it's a lot of facts. I probably have heard all the facts that are involved because I hear that it's a pretty short story. It's really not a whole lot. That was unalive. I feel bad for both of them. Hey, Elliot, I feel bad for both of I feel bad for the unalive, and I feel bad for the baby that, thank you, Elliot, that is no longer with us anymore. Thanks, Sam. I feel so bad. I couldn't even imagine if this was, it's a conference online now talking about it because his attorney, they kicked him out of school too. Did you know that? They told him he couldn't go back to school. He's done for this year. Hello, Swig Squad. Welcome. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for joining. This evening, I want to have a conversation. I'm not sure how many of you've heard, but there is a young man named Carmelo Anthony. It is not Carmelo Anthony in Lala. It is not the Carmelo Anthony in the NBA. This is, oh, his team posted a press. Okay. This is a young man out of Fresno, Texas, named Carmelo Anthony, 17 years old. And he is a star. Star track, star football, straight A student 4.0. The story goes that they were at a track meet and he was under a tent. There were some seats under a tent allegedly, and he sat in one of the seats under the tent. There was a twin young man. Both of these boys are 17 years old, by the way. There was a twin boy, Austin Metcalf. He said to Carmelo, you need to get up because you're not supposed to be sitting over here. It said that Carmelo was sitting in the wrong area. Austin allegedly threatened him, told him to get up, and yeah, it is. It's all over the place, Jeff. So, Austin told him, you need to get up because you don't belong here. Carmelo said, move me then. Austin then allegedly grabs his book bag or his backpack or touched some article of his body or on his person. And Carmelo stuck him in the chest. That's what he said, PM. That's what they said. Yeah, they said that he had prior to this incident, he had been bullied. So they said that he was afraid. He had PTSD. They said both twins were present, and there were two other guys that were present. Yeah, Jeff, they said he got into a fight a few nights earlier. A few nights before. Yeah, they said that he had been he was jumped and that he was being bullied. So I'm assuming that that's why he had this, this stick on him. So the attorney, so he ended up being arrested. The police came. Another thing I be wanting to say, can y'all please make sure y'all tell these young men, the police are not your friend. Please shut up. They say you have a right to remain silent for a reason. Do not talk to the police. There is no reason for you to talk to them. I don't care if they tell you, if you give me the story, I could probably get you off a little bit. I could probably get you. No, they not. That is not their job. They don't know the law. They here to protect and serve, and they barely do that. So do not start yapping to the authorities. So as soon as he was detained, he hurried up and said, I did it. And allegedly, one of the police alluded to, this is allegedly the suspect. And he said, no, it's not alleged. I really did it. Like, shut up. What? And then when he was in the car, allegedly, he said, y'all think I could get off on self-defense? See, all these conversations are going to come up when that case comes. That all these conversations that he's having with the police, all of this, do y'all think I can get off on self-defense? All of this, this wasn't alleged. I really did it. All of this stuff that he's saying, all of this is going to come out in this trial. So that's why you say as little as possible, because you don't know what your attorney's angle is going to be and what your attorney can work with. But while you sitting there being blabbermouth the whole time you in the presence of the police, now you making your attorney's job harder. Every time you make a statement, every single time. I had arrested and I could say that the young man, I was scared. Okay, I can see that. Also at that age, he thought he was doing the right thing because the cops asked him. You know what, Jeff? I would believe that if he was another color, because all I can think of is, even as little, I got brothers, and when my brothers was little, my daddy and my uncles was telling them, you don't say nothing to nobody, to no police. I don't care. You wait till a parent get there. Like, I'm sure he was scared. I know. I can definitely bet every dime I got that he was scared. But I just hope that it didn't make it worse for him to just go ahead and just say all of this stuff before his attorney even had a chance to get to him. So once his attorney gets to him, he already got a statement that he done made that the police is going to hand to the detective to make sure that the prosecutor get these words that he said. They gonna say, oh, he was in a car asking us, do we think he can get off on self-defense? That goes to show that I don't think. I know he's not PM. They said that he is a 4.0 student. He does not get into trouble. They said he got into some trouble in February, I believe, earlier this year. And I'm not sure if they've already smoothed that out or what that was about. But they've said that they've only had positive things to say about this young man. He all of the witnesses, every kid at the school, nobody ever said anything negative about the young man. So I don't think he was like, like gangster or one of those kids that's a problem that the counselors always got to talk to and all that stuff. I don't think he was one of those. I don't think he was a troublemaker. I don't think any of that. But so I'm asking y'all. So if he was under the tent, the young man came to him, the Austin boy came to him and said, "You need to move from under this tent." And he said, "You need to move me." And then the Austin boy went to go to move him, whatever article of clothing it was that he touched. And then, he went on and stuck him. Does that sound like a defense, a good defense for self-defense? It says, my thing is that the twins weren't on the track team. Why would they? You already know, PM. You already know. They the boss everywhere they go. Exactly. Boom. That was my whole thing, Jeff. So I'm like, you already know that that's going to be the big deal, but can we use the same thing that George Zimmerman used? Trayvon Martin was unarmed too. Trayvon Martin didn't have nothing on him. And George Zimmerman just said that, "Hey Karen, thanks for joining." And George Zimmerman just said that he was scared. Trayvon Martin was a young man, unarmed, didn't have nothing, but he had threatened Zimmerman allegedly. So do you think that this is an argument like the George Zimmerman? So now, can the attorney say, "Hey, we can go back to the Zimmerman versus Zimmerman"? I'm froze. Oh man. Oh, that's because, hold on. Is that better? Am I moving? Am I still froze? Can y'all see me and hear me? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. So would this be something that, because if we go and we're saying that he shouldn't have said that move me then. So he knew that he had something on him to defend him. And was that like he was provoking Austin? Or would this look like Austin, his twin, and the other two boys that accompanied Austin and his twin? Did it look like they were like, I'm going to say like, I won't say a gang, but I can say that, it looked like Karmelo could have been outnumbered. Like, is that the way that y'all can view it? Or are y'all saying, with the information that we have so far, of course, because we won't know everything probably ever. We wasn't there. All we doing is totally speculating and at this point, and we're just looking like you know, we looking at the facts and just trying to see whether we thought that. So Karen, in Frisco, was it Fresno or Frisco? Frisco, Texas. There was two 17-year-old young men. One of the young men's name was Karmelo Anthony. No relation to the basketball player. This was somebody totally different. Just a young man who had the same name. They were at a track meet because they ran track, they played football. They all played sports. And Karmelo was under the tent of Austin Metcalf. And Austin Metcalf is a twin. He has an identical twin. It was two of them standing together. And Austin approached Karmelo and said, you need to move from under this tent because this is not where you're supposed to be. Karmelo then says, you move me. If you want me to move, you move me, allegedly. So Austin goes to allegedly touch his book bag, touch his jacket, touch something on the person of Karmelo. And Karmelo, straight to the chest. He had a stick, went straight, and it pierced his heart. So he was able to ask them to call for help, and then his twin brother held him while he took his last breath. Yes. So the city or the neighborhood is in an uproar because, of course, they're making it a race thing. But the father of the twins, Austin, and I forgot what the other twin's name was, but the father of the twins said this is not a race issue. This had nothing to do with race because Karmelo is used to being around all races. You know, this was a very diverse school that they both went to. So there was no issues in as far as relating to race. It wasn't a race war. So they're saying that Karmelo was jumped months prior. They're saying that he had been bullied and, you know, he had PTSD, but he was taken to jail. And at first his bond was $1 million, but they were able to get it lowered. And he had a GoFundMe that had like over $400,000 in it. So they were able to get him out on a tether. But they also said that he can't even go outside. He can't even go back to school. The school won't allow him to attend. He can't even do a homeschool program for these last few months. So he'll miss, I believe this is his senior year. So he'll miss graduation and all of this stuff. I'm sure at this point, that's probably the least of his worries now. But it's such a sad situation because we're looking at, you know, if you have children, of course, and even if you don't, you know, we're just looking at both kids. I mean, they're babies at this point. So Karmelo has totally just thrown his life away. And then, you know, we have a life that is no longer here. And it's just so sad to look at this, but they're saying that Karmelo Anthony, when he was detained by the police, he immediately went to say this was self-defense. So he's talking to the cops and he's asking them, do y'all think I can say self-defense? And it's like, you don't want to have those conversations with the police. Oh, you just don't. Because they going to bring all of this stuff to court. They bringing this stuff to court. And they're going to mention everything that he said and every comment that they got body cam. They got cameras in the cars, in the squad cars. So all of this, I don't believe that it's race is playing a part. But what I am saying is look at the climate we're in. Look at the state that they're in. And look what happened. Like, we just looking at the situation just for the facts, for what it is. Like, we are all aware of what happens when it's one of our kids and one of theirs. Like, it's not, it's frowned upon. It's definitely a very scary situation. It is something that I would be on pins and needles right now if this was my relative. Like, I would be seriously unable to sleep and unable to eat because, and the family, of course, is getting all kind of unaliving threats. And, everybody is just talking about, how much hate that, is being spewed to them. And I can imagine, of course, he, he took somebody's life, allegedly, of course, because he's innocent until proven guilty, even though he want to run his mouth and tell the police that it's not alleged. I really did it. No, sir, you're innocent until proven guilty. Please be quiet. So they told him he told him to touch him and see what happens. The mother of Austin said that she was at work and she said she got a call from the other twin, and she said the other twin couldn't even talk because he's just screaming in the phone. And she's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And, he went on and explained that Austin had gotten, poked. And she just left work right then and just ran to the hospital. She said she got there before the EMS did. They do say that there are a lot of kids who are speaking highly of Karmelo. Nobody is saying that that's a good thing too. That at least nobody is saying that he's being labeled as a thug or like a gangbanger or anything like that. So all of the kids, he had a 4.0. He was a 4.0 athlete. And I just think this is so unfortunate. Even just looking at the little information that we have so far, I'm looking at this and I'm just saying that my heart totally goes out to both families, because although I understand the Metcalf family is totally devastated, that twin is a babbling mess. He's not even able to even talk right. What happened to, that's what I said. I said, what happened to when a boy touched him? Why couldn't he just swing on a boy and they could have just fought it out? I'm not. So that's where the whole, because he was outnumbered, because of course he was over there alone by himself, and it was the set of twins. And there were allegedly two other guys from their track meet, because of course this wasn't his this wasn't his school. He was under the tent of the rivaling school. So, and of course Hello, they really can't do that. Ain't nobody about to run and be looked at as no punk and all of that, even though a punk can live to see another day. But like I said, I think the good points about this is the all of the positive things being said about Karmelo, the fact that he is a 4.0 student, the fact that he was very helpful in the community. Like, everybody talked about how much he's helped them, either with their grades or picking somebody up from school or picking somebody's groceries up. All of the positive things come out, and all the positive things about him are coming out from different people talking about different things that he has done for people in the community. um I can definitely understand that they are having an issue because the attorney, guess his name is Mike Howard. He was accused of shaking a baby or doing something abusive to a baby, and the baby is not unalive. The baby is still with us, but allegedly he supposedly did something to a baby before. I don't know what year this was. Also, you know, and I listen. I got the information from a couple of media outlets. It's just that most of the media outlets that I looked at or listened to, it's always like isolated media environments that we're all listening to, because of course you'll listen to your outlet, I'll listen to mine, they'll listen to theirs, and they'll listen to theirs, and different media outlets will have a bias on different sides. Well, I listened to about five different outlets. I read one of the newspaper articles. All of these were somewhere around the Texas area. So I watched the news press of like three news stations out in Texas, and then I read like two pieces from two journalists that resided in Texas. And I can tell you like this: to me, the information that I heard, the way that I processed it, is everybody was against Karmelo. Like, nobody. And I researched. I mean, this is why I was going to so many different channels to look. I'm looking for the documentation, the channel, the journalist, the write up, the article, whatever, that would have the talk pieces that would be in favor of Mr. Anthony. Yeah, you gotta check it out, Karen. But when I went to research any of the think pieces or the articles or the journalism work or the press conferences and all of these articles are supposed to be non-biased either way. Bullshit. Because everything I read and listened to was all saying Karmelo Anthony is an unaliver. He unalived this young man. He used force. He used unnecessary force when when going against this young man. So yeah, they do. I know, Karen, Karen, I don't watch the news. Me, myself, like, I don't watch the news. And I don't watch the news for this reason. However, when a story come out that I may want to talk about, or I may want to get other opinions on, and see what other people are thinking, and I do a little research, I'll go down those rabbit holes. And that's periodically. I don't do it often because, I mean, like you said, it's really a sad thing. It really is. It's unfortunate, it's sad, and I just look at it like, although it's sad and it is unfortunate, I feel like this is the world we live in. And of course, while we can avoid a lot of it, we can't avoid everything. So even in avoiding a lot of it, we're going to run into something at some point. And this is one of those situations. So I did look at it. I saw a press conference with Mike Howard, his attorney, but I think it was the press conference that went more towards them reducing his bond. When his bond was at $1 million, I think that it was toward so that they could reduce his bond. And he was able to do that. He was able to get his bond reduced. I'm sure that they won't be able to find anything negative, or you know anything, any rough behavior displayed in the notes or in the books, or on record or documented with the twin that is no longer with us. For one thing, that would be totally insensitive at this point, because I mean, he's he's no longer with us. And but I mean, that would be Mr. Howard's responsibility. Like, if he feels like that is something that he needs to look at again, he probably may do something like that. But yeah, it's just a sad situation. It's just sad on both ends, because when I'm looking at it, I'm looking at one of our young men, another young man who will be, taken away, depending on how the outcome of this case will be. And I'm thinking about Texas. We looking at the state of Texas, and I don't see nothing good. I don't see any, unless we can get some new facts, or we can hear some new things that are going on. Like, I mean, we all know. I mean, I hope y'all know, like, the way that the state is set up. Right. He definitely does. And they said that he had like several offers on the table. He had all kind of colleges looking at him. He had all kind of scouts coming to see him, not only for one sport but for three sports. He was the star player, athlete, period, at the school. So it's like he has so many things going for him. And I know that he didn't do it on purpose. I'm sure that he didn't even know that that area was where he was going to. He probably wasn't even looking when he went, I don't I don't know, Karen. I think that that had to do with his PTSD from him being jumped before, allegedly. That's what I was hearing. I was hearing that he had been in a, I guess jumped in a gang fight, or a gang, or a lot of people jumped on him. And I'm hearing that, he was carrying it for, protection. And he wasn't aware of, I mean, I'm hoping maybe he thought he wouldn't have to use it. So, but it's just looking like, so why did you say move me then? Probably not. They didn't mention that. They didn't mention whether the parents were aware. But they did say that one of the outlets did mention that if he said move me, that was like a provoking, like he provoked the young man to like move him, and it wasn't so that he could fight him. They said that he knew that he had that on him, and when he said move me then, they said that that sounded like he wanted the young man to do something, and he was going to do something back that didn't involve a physical anything. So it didn't look like he was thinking about, I'm about to whoop his, let him put his hands on me, and he about to go down. Like, it didn't look like he was about to say, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put him down if he put his hands on me. Watch this. Or if he put his hand, watch when he put his hands on me, watch what happened. You know what I'm saying? It looked like he was it looked like he was, I mean, that's the first thing he did. Yes. That one, that part, Karen, that part. So, and it's like that's what, because there was nothing else done. This all happened in the matter of 2 minutes. The twin said that he said they went, that he said those words to him, you gotta move because this ain't where you supposed to be sitting at. He said, move me then if I ain't supposed to be over here. Then the other twin went on and tried to touch the part of the body that he touched, and that, boom, that was it. He said it was a 2-minute interaction. He said he turned his back for all of 3 seconds. And he said his brother was saying, call the ambulance, and holding his chest. He said they all started holding his chest. He said they all holding his chest, and he like, call the ambulance, hurry up, call the ambulance to tell them to hurry up and come on. And yeah, I mean, and that's all that we could think about. Like, is this what you were thinking about? Like, were you just this enthused or ready to use this tool? Like, was you like ready to, did you have a conversation with somebody the night before and y'all was talking about doing something in self-defense? And then the next thing, you wanted to make sure you showed somebody that things can happen in, using self-defense. I'm like, it's just, it's so much, like so many questions that come to mind. And I know he's sitting in there and he just a sad case, because he ain't nothing but he a baby. That's a baby. And he not know, he they live in a nice house. Yeah, they live in a really nice house. He has his mother and his father. I think he has like 3 or 4 other siblings. They're in a nice neighborhood. And somebody said that he had got a new car for supposed to be for graduation that they had already given him. So I mean, it sounds like he had everything that he could have wanted. And I'm just like, this is just so sad for this baby. It is. It's a lot missing from the story, but also it says we don't know what was going. Yeah, in his picture. Candace, you said he looked dead by the eyes. I did see one of his pictures, but he looked scared to me. Thank you for joining, Candace. But he looked scared to me in that the picture that I saw. I think I was looking at his one of his mug shots maybe. And he was looking like kind of scared to me. And I could see in his eyes that, he had been crying. And that's what I saw. I just saw that but can y'all imagine? Like, this is a baby. I'm sure he did not mean the family pictures. Okay. Oh, okay. You saying okay, I didn't see any of the family pictures. Okay. You said he rarely smiled. He looked very stoic. Okay. So that is like a kind of regular look for him, huh? But it's just like, and I know when he was in jail, he was scared. I know that them speaking of jail, a lot of times kids that grow up in two-parent households, yeah, you could say that again. You could say that again. Because it be all kind of dynamics of what's going on with them parents and it be all kind of stuff. But yes, Karen, a lot of times the kids that grow up in a two-parent household be more trouble than the ones with single mom households. Yes, you are so right. You are so right. Because I got friends who grew up in two-parent households who say that they wish that they had enough. They wish the things that they witnessed and the things that their mother had to go through and all the stuff and all the counseling that they need now, today. It is a lot of people who feel like, yeah, them two-parent households ain't always what they cracked up to be. And I know that the mother and father are, feeling some guilt from this because now it's like, and he was the oldest. He was the oldest. The other children are small. And I know they're just like, what, where did we go wrong? How did we drop the ball? Like, just I know that it's just so many unanswered questions with this situation because we got the information, we got what happened. Shoot, it was just the boy. They had those. He was 17. They were both 17. Hey, Real Life Simulations, thank you for joining. They were both 17. I keep wanting to say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Carmelo Anthony was 17. It is 17. And Austin Metcalf is 17. Him and the other twin was 17. They were 4 minutes apart, the twins. And Carmelo Anthony was just such a pillar in the community. He was everybody just talked about how necessary he was in the community and how he just helped everybody in everything that he did. And how all the kids loved him. And yeah, it's not their fault. You're right, Karen. It's not. No, we try to train these kids how we want to train them, and it takes 5 minutes for something to turn their head around. Can't imagine how the mom feels to do the best she could just for something like this happen. Yes, because what do you think? Like, you're like, I've been And then he was on his way. He had so many schools looking at him for being the athlete that he was. He had worked so hard all these years, had been running track, playing football. Like, how do you apply yourself your entire school year? Your school career. You apply yourself all the years of your school. You work hard. He had a 4.0 GPA. You are working hard. You doing everything you supposed to do. And then you mean to tell me this is how you want to end it? I'm just like what? It was nothing else that could have been done when he put his hands on you after he told you to move. Karen, girl, you might be on to something. You might be saying something, Attorney Karen. You better get that boy a defense. I see you, Karen. Mental episode. Okay, we talking about like some schizophrenic or something. Maybe something was coming. You know, schizophrenic don't show up until young adult, kind of like early 20. I'm serious. Girl, you might be onto something. Yeah. Especially, okay. Yeah. So you saying that you kind of saw it in his eyes in those pictures. You would see in his eyes that he was never smiling and there was no emotion behind them. Yeah, them pictures. Hey, that could be something. That could definitely be something. Something he was dealing with. Especially if something might have been going on with them parents. And then, he got a lot on him because he the oldest. The oldest kid. I'm a oldest child. We deal with a lot because we have to know about a lot that's going on with the family when the light's about to get cut off and we about to get evicted, and we know about all that. The little ones don't be knowing that. The oldest kids, we be having that information. For some reason, yeah, they had to, especially if it was something mental. Well, listen, let me tell you, they better be working hard to try to get them a defense, because that is what it's going to take. It's going to take a good defense for them to be able to sway a jury, because it's already everywhere. It ain't nowhere they gonna be able to go that nobody is gonna be done heard about it. Ain't no need of them trying to, when they pull in this jury, ain't no need of asking them, do you watch the news? Are you on social media? Have you heard anything? We all the way in Michigan and we know about it. So they gonna know about it in Texas. Unless they move this case to Timbuktu, and everybody gonna already have their opinion. Everybody gonna already be done thought about what they can think about this case and what they feel about this case, and they gonna be done made their decision based on what information that came out already. And this poor baby, oh, I feel bad for both families. I keep saying that. I feel bad for the Austins. I feel horrible for his twin brother. His twin brother said, we did everything together. We washed dishes together. He said we did everything together. We are 4 minutes apart. And we didn't do nothing as individuals. So my heart goes out to him. My heart goes out to the whole family. And the Anthony family is going to need all of their prayers as well, because they have to continue to stay strong. Huge loss on both sides. And they have to continue to stay strong. And also, there was a Facebook post by one of Carmelo Anthony's family members. They need to stay out of off Facebook. They need to stay. I don't care who they trying to defend. Do not put messages on Facebook. You don't need to clear nothing up. You don't need to make sure everybody know who your family is and how to. You don't need to specify anything, because it's gonna make your case worse. So they need to tell his family to stop talking. Get off social media. Social media is not your friend. Don't post, not another post, nowhere. Do not put nothing. Don't argue with nobody. Don't, no, my cousin ain't like that. You don't even know my cousin. My cousin wasn't even like that. Nope, nope. Let them say what they want to say. They didn't know your people. Let them go on. Just don't even read the comments if you can help it. Just don't be on social media, because they use social media to bring everything out. The prosecution, the detectives, the police, they use social media. They gonna be looking on social media to see who cousin and who uncle. Okay, who is this? Is this his? Oh, this his maternal brothers, uncles, sons, dad. Like, they gonna be looking all through there. And they gonna have everything. They bring all of that stuff to court. They bring all that stuff in this case. Oh, look at this. Look what his cousin said. Look what his uncle was saying. Oh, they rowdy anyway. Look how they be talking. Look how the family talk. This is what they said. Like, they use that stuff. So don't be on no social media. It ain't even worth it. It ain't even worth it for you to be trying to prove something to people who gonna believe what they gonna believe anyway. Let it go. But yeah, I can see that this young man is going to have a lot of more mental issues than he already has dealing with this situation. He is already going to be so sick, and heaven forbid if they end up cooking them, because it ain't even gonna matter about no appeal. It's just not gonna matter, because he ain't gonna be no good. He ain't gonna be no more good. Real life simulations. In Frisco, Texas, there was an incident between two 17-year-old young men. There was an African American young man. His name happened to be Karmelo Anthony, no relation to the basketball player. And there was a Caucasian young man named Austin Metcalf. His last name is Metcalf. And they were at a track meet. And Karmelo Anthony went and sat under their tent, or was under their tent or something. And Austin Metcalf told him to get from over there, because that wasn't where he was supposed to be. Karmelo Anthony responded and said, "Move me if this ain't where I'm supposed to be. Move me out the way." And Austin Metcalf went to touch something on his personal person, his book bag, his t-shirt, his jacket, something. And Karmelo Anthony just poked him in the chest, and it pierced his heart. Yes. Young boys, yes, 17 years old. They were both 17. And that's why we're saying. And then Karmelo Anthony was immediately arrested. And then when he was arrested, the police was talking into the walkie-talkie, and they were saying, I've apprehended the alleged suspect. And Karmelo said, it's not alleged. I really did do it. I was the one who did it. Yeah. And then while he was in the car with the police, he said, do y'all think I can get off on self-defense? Allegedly. So I was just saying, like, those types of conversations and remarks are definitely going to be used in court. You know, when they go to court and they print out, you know, have the whole everything that was on the body cam and the car cam and everything that was said in the car. You know, they got cameras all over the place, all under everything. And yeah, so they're gonna bring all of that stuff in, and they're going to say this boy was just hype and happy to you know, to do something. Because of course it's gonna be like, why couldn't he just fight him? Okay, if you say move me then, and then somebody put their hands on you, why not swing on them? What about I'm gonna rough you up if you put your hands on me? Why was that like the first thing that you went to? But they also said that allegedly Carmelo Anthony had been jumped prior to, and that he also had been bullied as well. So, you know, it was several things that you know, we just tossing up, brainstorming, just pulling different things up, and just trying to see what might work, especially in the great state of Texas, where they don't like us. They don't like us at all. At all, they don't like us. So, that's why I'm just like, what was you? Karen said that he could have been dealing with something mental. You know, he could have been dealing with something, you know, going on psychologically. And I feel like that would be the only thing that would probably be able to sway these jurors. No, he didn't. No. Austin is no longer with us. And Austin was an identical twin. His identical twin was holding him when he took his last breath. And no, he pierced his heart with the when he poked him in the chest. He pierced his heart and it bled out. So that's it. It's just I just couldn't even imagine that being my baby. You know, can you imagine somebody call you and tell you your baby done unalive somebody, and you like, he at school. What is they doing? Where he at? Where they? It's like, yeah, that's where he's at the track meet at the school. Yes. And they got into a little tisk. He had an argument. And it seemed like everything is just so final for these kids. It's like everything is so serious and so final. And it's not. Everything is just not final. Everything is not final like that. You do not have to be the big bad guy because somebody threatened. You know, of course, Austin probably was just trying to big dog, you know, and be like, hey, you ain't supposed to be over here, so move out our spot. And, you know, trying to impress some people, maybe looking up in the bleachers or something. And when Carmelo Anthony said, move me, and he went to put his hands on him, It was like he didn't even think of had to be dealing with something internally to be mad enough. Yes, yes, exactly. Real life simulations. That's exactly what we were saying. Like, that's not something that you just do. That's not just a go to thing that's in your head. Like, you could not have possibly been there thinking, like, ooh, who I'm about to use this on. Ooh, I can't wait to. Ooh, I'm about to. Ooh, I can't wait to. And then I said, I don't even believe that he knew where when he was poking him. I don't believe that he knew where he was poking him at. I don't believe that he knew, like, I'm about to get him right in the heart. Like, I don't believe he knew that. I believe that he just took it out and just let it go and just was, careless, wild with it. And that's just what ended up having to happen. And they said the boy immediately said, "Hey, y'all, give me some help, call 911." And the twin brother said, "Yeah, Candace, he may have blacked out." The twin brother said that he said he turned around to tell somebody to call 911 or to hand somebody's phone. And when he turned around, his brother was taking his last. He said he was holding him with one arm and passing his phone to somebody else. Yes, he did. He did, Karen. He ran afterwards. But he ran out in the same parking lot. He didn't run away. He just ran away from that place. Cause they caught him in the same parking lot. So he didn't get far. He didn't run anywhere far. So the police, apprehended him right there. So yeah, he ran away, but I guess that was that shock, that initial shock when, the other twin just started screaming. And because they said that once the ambulance got there, it was too late. They said that it probably took them 7 minutes, and it was too late. So I feel so bad for both of those parents. I feel horrible, both sets of parents. I feel horrible for Karmelo Anthony because both of his parents were, in the home. And I feel horribly bad for Austin Metcalf family too. His parents, because they were both there as well. And it's not better on anyone. Everybody is taking a loss. Everybody is taking a loss. Nobody wins in this situation. We have one young man who is no longer with us, and then we have one young man who is going to have to fight for his life to be a free man. He is going to have to fight. And we gonna just we gonna have to just pray that he don't have to go somewhere and sit down for the rest of his life, because that ain't, I think the fact that man. And then they also said that when Karmelo was detained by the police, that he was in the back seat asking them, "Can y'all find out what's going on with the young man? Can y'all find out what they saying at the hospital?" So they didn't even tell him until later that he was no longer with us, because he was asking how the young man was doing when he first, was detained, because he was concerned. He's a baby. He ain't no he definitely wasn't ready for this, y'all. I know, I don't even know him, but I know for a fact that he was not ready for this. He just wasn't. I just feel like you know, he was pressured. He had a whole lot of stuff on his mind. Um and this is just sad. It really is. So this is still developing. You know, we're still learning things. This is just what we have so far. And like I said, I'm going to keep listening to different outlets because I have yet to hear an outlet that may sound like they're leaning towards Mr. Anthony and you know, just trying to figure out reasons and things that might have made him be in the headspace that he was in, and you know, think of giving him some type of a defense of any sort that he may be able to hang his hat on at some point. But I'm gonna keep my eye open for this. They said that he is being charged with, you know, first degree. Um, they said that race will not play a factor in this case. They will not highlight the you know, the racial tension or lack thereof, because there was no racial tension between the kids at all. They were both used to being in a very diverse environment because they both had gone to school for many years in a diverse environment. So there was no race issue connected to this. Um, Anthony said it was self-defense. He told, yeah, he pretty much said, touch me and see what happens, and that was the end result. So yeah, y'all you know, read up on it, get as much information as y'all can, see if any information changed. I don't think it was either, Candace. I knew it wasn't racial because Karmelo never said that he, nope, and he didn't say that he was called that. Nope, they didn't say anything about that. They didn't say that somebody was trying to say they took his phone and broke his phone or something like that. They were saying that they took Carmelo's phone and they stepped on it, took his phone, threw it on the ground, and stepped on it with they feet. And I was like, I ain't see that nowhere. I didn't see that anywhere. I just think that that was just somebody trying to, you know, fuel the plot, actually. You know, I hadn't heard, I didn't hear that anywhere. I didn't hear any tension other than the boy touching some part of Carmelo's article of his clothing. That's the only thing that I heard as far as a physical exchange between the boys. That was what I heard. I didn't hear anything about anybody else touching him. I didn't hear anything about a phone being stumped on the ground. I didn't hear anything about any of that. So yeah, this is one thing we know is that it'll continue to be a sad situation. We know that I mean, even in us getting more facts and getting more of the story, it still won't make it any better. We'll still all agree that this is a very negative and unfortunate situation, especially because there's a young man who is now no longer with us. And then there's a young man who is now losing his mind because he doesn't know what the future holds for him. So, yes, sweet, what I'm looking forward to coming back together and speaking about this once we can, get some more information, and we can all be thorough with what we're speaking of. If there are any other facts that are involved that would sway the case either way, then or once we come back, if we come back, we'll just discuss anything that we know further. But thank you all. Thank you all for joining. Um, let's keep them in our prayers, y'all. Both families, both sets of parents. This was an unfortunate situation, and nobody deserved this. Between two babies, these were babies, and yeah, it's a sad state of affairs. All right, Sweet Squad, I'm gonna get up out of here. Thank you all for joining. I really appreciate you, and I will holler at y'all tomorrow. Thank y'all. Good night.